That's the hand of Boniface, a young Kenyan man. In his hand are face masks that he had been selling just a few minutes earlier. He was selling those face masks to protesters in Nairobi. They were protesting the recent police killings of a young man known as Albert Ojwang. With no shame, no morals, no compassion, a police officer pointed his gun at Boniface and shot him fatally. And so unfolded the evil irony of a protest about fatal police shooting, leading to yet another fatal police shooting. Young Kenyans are losing their lives, killed by police, not by armed robbers, not by terrorists, but by those who are sworn to serve and protect them. Let's not mince words. When the police or the army turn against the very people whose taxes are paying their salaries, the regime in charge has lost the people. It has lost moral authority. It has lost public trust. And one could argue it has lost legal mandate too. This isn't the first time. In June 2024, Kenyan police killed dozens of peaceful demonstrators, young Gen Zs, who were protesting an exploitative finance bill. The people were unarmed. The police were armed to the teeth. Now, in 2025, we see a haunting replay. Bullets, blood, batons, and silence from those in power. But there's something even more chilling. In these recent protests, there were goons, men not in uniform, but strangely organized. Some were appearing to work in sync with the police. They weren't just bystanders. They beat, robbed, harassed, and intimidated protesters. Eyewitnesses say that they moved like they had permission, like they were working in sync with the police. If true, let this be a clear warning to Kenya's government. Using hired goons is not a strategy. It's a fatal mistake, a deadly mistake. Because when you unleash violence through proxies, when you normalize impunity, you're not controlling violence. You are manufacturing it. You are turning it into a product. That's not a slippery slope. That's a cliff. And if you want to know what lies at the bottom of that cliff, just ask Haiti. Here's how the nightmare began. In Haiti, gangs weren't always this powerful. But in the early 2000s, political elites started using them. Leaders, especially during the administration of Jean-Bertrand Aristide, and those who came after, saw these groups as useful muscle. They armed them, paid them, and gave them unofficial protection in exchange for suppressing the opposition, intimidating voters, and doing the dirty work of the state, the one the state didn't want to be seen doing. These groups became known as chimères, ghosts. They blended into the communities by day and terrorized them by night. The problem though, violence is never loyal. Once armed, these gangs developed their own powerful structures. They no longer needed the politicians. They themselves became the politicians, warlords, rulers. Fast forward to today, over 80% of Port-au-Prince is controlled by gangs. They collect their own taxes. They decide who lives and who doesn't. The Haitian state has all but collapsed. The police are overpowered. Schools are shut. Women and children are routinely violated. And ordinary citizens live in a constant state of fear. To the ruling regime in Kenya, this is your warning. When you kill protesters, you kill democracy. You kill functional society. When you hire thugs to control crowds, you train them to control you. When violence becomes a job, it becomes a business. And like all businesses, it seeks profit and growth and dominance. Look at Haiti. It didn't become a failed state overnight. It was chipped away, one state-sponsored killing at a time. One gang armed in silence. One protest silenced by a bullet. So I speak to the government of Kenya. Don't feed violence, because you will be unable to control it. Don't feed the fire of chaos. You may think you are in control, but violence has no master. And I speak to the people of Kenya and to all Africans in the motherland and the diaspora. We must reject state-sponsored violence. We must say no to mercenary mobs. We must have zero tolerance for the commodification of violence. Because the more we allow it, the more it grows. And once it becomes a currency, it bankrupts the soul of the nation. Let us defend justice, even when it's uncomfortable. Let us speak for the voiceless, even when it's dangerous. And let us never forget the names: Albert, Boniface, and many more. This is the African awakening, and this is your call to act. Because what we tolerate today will determine what we experience tomorrow in bigger and bigger proportions.